So the pandemic has affected both the learning, but also the social opportunities of children, with serious implications for their achievement and overall the well-being, the psychological well-being of students, in particular for those students that come from a disadvantaged background. So the disruption of learning and social environment risk to cast long shadows in the future of next generation entering into the labor market. This makes it so important for us, from what we are doing today, and try to learn a lesson from this crisis to make not the education system simply what it was before, but better compared to what it was before. So the sense of hope for me is that the pandemic has led several schools, teachers, and policymaker-led experimentation and innovation and improvement in our school system. So the education system can learn from this development so that the schools became more effective, innovative, and especially more equitable. So the pandemic indeed showed that very clearly that inequalities in our education system needed to be addressed. And in particular, students from low socioeconomic backgrounds may find it more difficult to study from home, may suffer from internet connectivity issues, may lack parental support at home. But a lot of these issues were there even before the pandemic. They needed to be addressed, and there was still this huge gap that now we have a great opportunity to somehow try to make some steps and improve upon. We know that access to technology is necessary, but is not sufficient to lead to a change. We need to create an innovative school system to transmit somehow valuable job market skills to all students. So schools have changed during the past couple of years, and hopefully we have a bunch of lessons that we learned and we can use to build this more equitable and innovative system for education. So my first lesson is related to teacher training. There's been an impressive amount of teacher training all around the world in the past year and a half on digital pedagogy and new technology. There is a strong mismatch between the skills required in the labor market and the skills that are often taught at school, and the process that started during the pandemic to try to improve the skills of teachers and align them with what is required by new technology, I think should not stop and should be seen as moving forward as a key point. So the second aspect, and this is, as you said in the introduction, something I've worked a lot on, is on tutoring. In the past year and a half, all around the world, I've been working in several Latin American countries and Europe, and tutors have been offering important resources as digital mediators, but also as a direct support for learning and the overall well-being of students. They can be a useful resource, not only during the online teaching, but also moving forward, providing not just remedial, but also accelerated learnings in the years post pandemic. The third key lesson that I would take from this pandemic is related to structural changes in school systems. We had a strong innovation that came in very disruptively in few weeks in the school system all around the world, and included a strong digital learning infrastructure, interactive activities. Schools started to be more flexible in terms of timing and exploiting opportunities from online learning. For example, the presence of potentially role models that can connect asynchronous and meet directly with the student, with some opportunities that would have not been possible just exploiting in-person interaction. This is also a third component that I would stress as a lesson to keep going forward. And finally, my last point is related to data, measurement, and evidence-based policies. In the past year and a half, we saw how much this matters. This matters to understand the magnitude of the issue and trying to act fast where most of the need and the resources are necessary. And I really hope that this awareness on the importance of data and evidence-based policy will help taking the lessons forward to overcome educational losses and build a much better and more resilient education system.